Um, Hi Jane, hi Danny, hi little Miss Lori, and here we are on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Baking with Olivia. You know what that means? It's Thursday. Hi Jane, hi Fingertooth Swing, hi 70mm fan. Yay! We're all here. Everybody go live comments on Facebook. Huzzah! Oh gosh, you guys, I've been watching The Great recently, and huzzah is, their catchphrase. Really good show if you haven't watched it. Hello, Eric. Welcome, welcome. Let me take a deep breath because I'm running just a tiny bit behind today, but that's okay. I always have time to explain things. Hi, Johan. Hi, Tony. First, a couple of announcements since I literally have to kill time while this yeast proofs and activates. Hi, Cam. Lola's Pinup Closet. If you haven't been to her Instagram page, please go check it out right now. She's got tons and tons of fabulous merch, including this lovely little tank. You can definitely see it on Instagram. Let me give you the full view. Facebook. These come in a couple different color schemes. I believe we might have a gray with like a military green lettering. We've got this. We've got our little Satin Dolls lips colors. And this was just announced like yesterday. We are releasing a limited edition Vote t-shirt and tank tops. We just got our men's design put up. We've got two different types of tank, a slouchy tank and a crop tank, and then just a plain t-shirt for the women. And it says vote in large white letters, but the O is a red kiss, of course, because that's what we do with the dolls. Bisou. Limited edition, limited run. Make sure you go to the Satin Dolls website. Under the menu bar, go to shop, and you can pre-order your Vote t-shirts there. I've already got mine pre-ordered, and I'm so excited to wear them. And don't forget to make a plan to vote this November for those of you watching who also happen to live in the States. It's gonna be a really interesting November. I can tell you that much. So today we're making beignets. We're getting real French with it. I forgot to grind the proper type of coffee, and our coffee grinder still has like too fine of a grind of coffee in it. And we're just bamboozled as to what to do with that, but we'll figure it out. And I will have my French press coffee later this afternoon. Never you fear, because if there's anything I can tell you, as my little tea towel over here says it best, today is a multiple cups of coffee day. There it is. And yeah, it's definitely a multiple cups of coffee kind of day. Woo, she's looking pretty. So, okay, this is interesting. This is a new bake for me, like most stuff has been, and you're going to have to pardon me. I did not eat before this, and I popped my quiche in the microwave like 2 seconds before going live. So I might eat a little while I talk to you. Hi, Mark. Here, Eric. Yes. Dandelions are for real. Hey, they are. Is that your actual name? Dandelions are for real. Okay, yes, I got it right. Cool. So we're making beignets. What are beignets? Beignets are a French Creole treat brought over to New Orleans in the mid to late 19th century, I believe. And they are basically donuts without the hole. They're like donut puffs, donut pillows is what I kind of like to think of them as. Little fluffy, puffy donut pillows. It's a fried sweet bread. And this bread actually has yeast in it. So what I've got right here, and you can't see it, and I'm not going to tip it over because we all know how well that ends. The yeast has to be brewed for 12 to 15 minutes. I've already got my timer set. We've got 7 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. Hi, Luciano. Hi, Foxy Rockabella. Welcome. We're making beignets today, and I'm going to have some of my broccoli, bacon, and onion quiche while I talk to you, because I don't think I can make it through this day if I don't get a little something in my stomach. So, donut pillows. Yeah, they are. Been doing these baking weeks for quite a while now. You know what, Tony? I appreciate you. Every now and then I stop and I think I've been doing this since March. It's over March into April, May, June, July, August. So we're like 5-6 months. I know from May to September is 6 months because my birthday is in September and May. No, March. March to September is 6 months. Yeah. So we're at 5 months. See, my math person, I'm so sorry, I just totally forgot your name, but I do need help with math and counting. It should be easy, but sometimes it's not, like when you haven't eaten all day. So what we have going on right now is the yeast is proofing. And just so you know, I did go ahead and make a second batch of dough, which is right here, because it has to rest for 2 hours. And there's no way I can show you how to do this and also fry and make up these doughs. These beignets. Hello, Christian. How's it going? Pardon me. Right. Oh, no. Let me real quick do a do not disturb because, well, I'm really excited about the election. I don't want people texting me, asking me for money right now. Not right now. Maybe at some other time. Do not disturb. Turn it on now. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me on that. Oh, sorry, it paused. So here we are. I'm back. I had to turn off my notifications for a second. Beignets. If you've ever been to New Orleans, which it was one of our viewers last week who's from New Orleans, who gave me the inspiration to bake them this week. May not catch each one. Oh, that's kind of you, Mark. I'm so happy. And you can always go back and rewatch these episodes on our website, thesatindolls.com. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Christian, I'm doing quite well. I'm hungry, but I'm making it work. Beignets. Ooh. Okay, so this is good. My yeast is getting frothy. So what I've got in this bowl is 3/4 cup of sugar. No, 1/3 cup of sugar. Sorry, scratch that. Don't pay attention to that. Start here. 1/3 cup of sugar. 3/4 cup of warm water. You want it to be at least 100 degrees. And then 1 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. You put them in the bowl and it proves essentially. And I won't take a picture, but just so you know, it's really like foamy is what it looks like. Because if you've ever seen yeast in these packets, these are, the typical things. These are the things that grocery stores like sold out of as soon as quarantine hit because everybody was a baker all of a sudden. It just looks like little tiny pellets, really fine granular pellets is what yeast looks like in that package. But when you add it to the water, and depending on the type of dough that you're making, you'll add a little sugar or a little salt, but it's always warm water. And you let it sit for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. It activates and it blooms. That's what it's called. It's called blooming. And it just looks like a puffy, it actually looks like a really big puffy cake donut in the water, if I could describe it to you, which is very interesting. So we let this proof. And once it's done proving, which we've got like 3.5 minutes left to go, I'm going to take one more bite real fast. Once that's done proving, we're going to add milk, eggs, and salt and flour. And I'm forgetting how much salt. How much? I think it was just it's 3/4 of a teaspoon. That's right. Because I had to make this like literally 2.5 hours ago so that the dough behind me would have time to rise. So it's 1/2 cup of milk, 1 egg. You want both of those to be at room temperature. And then 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. You guys been watching any good TV while I'm, trying to feed myself very quickly? Like I said, I've been watching The Great. And it is great. It's a lovely satirical show featuring Elle Fanning about Catherine the Great. And I highly recommend you check it out. It's on Hulu, so go do that. All right, I'm gonna call it good on this quiche. So for the first time today, I'm gonna fry my bacon. Really exciting. If you've ever been to New Orleans, or if you know anything about New Orleans, Café du Monde and beignets are almost synonymous with New Orleans, about as synonymous as Mardi Gras. But I've been twice. The first time I ever went to New Orleans, Highlander, hilarious. It's great, Eric. The first time I went to New Orleans, gotta melt this real fast. I went on an orchestra trip with my high school orchestra, and my dad was the conductor at the time. And they alternate between band, choir, and orchestra. Each year, one group gets to go on a special trip. Usually the band and choirs go to San Antonio, Texas, so they can go to Six Flags and compete in some competitions. My dad did not want to do anything like that because that's just boring. So he booked us a bus, took us down to New Orleans. We went we got tours of the graves. We went to the Omniplex and saw a movie in IMAX 3D. We went to see the plantation where they shot Interview with a Vampire. We just went everywhere. We got to go on We got to go on a paddle boat ride in the Gulf, and there was a Dixie band, and we danced. We had gumbo and jambalaya, and it was amazing. And when the boat docked at the end of the night, it happened to be St. Patrick's Day. And so when the boat docked at the end of the night, right in the harbor where like the Kinder Street is, you couldn't find your bus because there was a St. Patrick's Day parade happening, and it was huge and it was amazing. And so we were like, well, what do we do? And my dad just went, stay together, and I'm going to go find our bus. And about 2 hours later, he finally came back. But he let us just hang out at the parade, and I'm never going to forget that. It was wonderful. Aside from all of the creepy old men who were at the parade, it was a really great experience. We got beads. We did not have to earn them. They just gave them to us. But we got beads, and it was wonderful. Okay, so it's blooming. It looks wonderful. So now we're going to add the milk, egg, and flour. And I've got the milk here, half of a cup, 1 egg. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put everything into the measuring cup. 1, 2, 2. Oh, scheisse. That's way too much salt. Way too much salt. Got it. Fixed. I'm doing my milk and egg and salt into the measuring cup. And I'm going to whisk it up. And you can do this with a mixing bowl. Hi, Boss Talk. We're making beignets today. And wooden spoon. You can use a mixer stand if you want to. If you're going to use a mixing stand, use a paddle attachment for the first half and then switch to a dough hook. But we'll get to that in a minute. So into the bowl, we're mixing. Let's see if I can shift this around. Ooh, this way so you can see more of what I'm doing. There we go. Camera operator. Woman of many talents, right? So I'm going to whisk in the egg. And then once that is whisked, I'm going to take half of the flour, which is, so the full amount of flour is 3.5 cups. So what I've got measured out here is 1.5 plus a quarter cup, because that's, again, my math friend down there. I told you I'm not really good at fractions, so I do things the most logically that I can think of. And you're going to stir with a wooden spoon just until everything is combined. And you can kind of see, no, you really can't. I'm sorry. I need a better setup. I need like a bird's eye view camera hanging above me to make this really work. Okay, until it's just combined. It doesn't say anything about it not being lumpy. But there we go, just combined. At this point, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of melted shortening, vegetable shortening, and mix that in. The dough should constantly be warm. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's measure out my last, oh, yes. I want to, forgetting that I had to do that. Towel dry. I know, Kristen, you speak German, don't you? You caught that. Hi. Awesome. Oh, everything in New Orleans, Mark? Yes, it was the most fun, and they required us to play. Like I said, all of the bands and choirs usually go to competitions because that's the only thing that matters in Oklahoma, I guess. But not my dad. All we did was we played for 2 nursing homes. That was our musical portion of the trip. It was, oh gosh, it really was such a fun, magical, wonderful trip, made more magical by my family. Actually, my dad, my mom, my little sister, my little brother came with us. My older sister had already gone to college, so sorry, she couldn't make it. But my dad's really clever like that. He was able to get us a mini family vacation and kind of have the school pay for it. No, the school didn't really pay for it. The candy bars that we sold paid for it. Did anybody do that when they were in high school? The band, orchestra, choir trips, or the fundraisers where you had to sell chocolate bars, or, gosh, I think in my junior high days, we sold pens. You could get like personalized pens. Dumb. So dumb. I mean, at least a candy bar you can eat, but I guess a pen is useful. But still, why would anybody pay $40 for one pen? If I really want to monogram something, I could Sharpie my initials to the end of a Bic. But that's just me. It's just me. Okay. So I've got another 1 3/4. There it is. Yeah. Half of 3 1/2 is 1 3/4. Huh, look, I can math. I can have some math. Or maybe I'm just totally wrong and it makes sense in my brain. And normal mathematicians will be like, what? No, sweetheart. But whatever. And I'm going to sift this because I can. Where are we on time? Okay, we're doing great. Doing great. I like to sift everything. You are German. Okay, well, there we go. Are you in Germany currently? Or are you German living stateside for some crazy reason? Because at this point, you'd have to be crazy to come here. Okay, so the other 1 3/4 cup in, and you're going to add it with the spoon until you're able to work it with your hands. Because we get to knead some dough. Hi, Taylor. Had an aunt years ago made me homemade gumbo Cajun style. It was hot but delicious. Oh, I've never made gumbo. But oh my goodness, Mark, that sounds amazing. So incredible. Okay, so here it is. If you can see it, we got her like this. Now, this is the point if you were using a mixing stand where you would switch from your paddle attachment to your dough hook. And I think you want to mix it with a spoon until it comes together. And by the time it comes together and you're able to work with it with your hands, that's when you can switch over. So let's get this stuff out of the way. flour my hands just a little. Whoop, might have been too soon, but that's okay. So no, I've never made gumbo. Is there like a specific... Actually, can you tell me what the difference between jambalaya and gumbo is? Because I don't know. I know there are things. Hello. It wouldn't be baking with Olivia if I didn't make a mess, would it? Oh, I'm just going to leave it there. Whatever. So I'm just turning this with my hands. And once it gets smooth, then we're going to tip it out onto a floured surface. And we are getting there. So yeah, if you don't have a mixing stand with a dough hook, this is how you mix that bread or that dough. Yeah, if you've ever been to Cafe Du Monde, they have other things to order, I believe, but everybody goes to order beignets and a café au lait. You're not sure? Well, I'll Google it later because I'm curious. Okay, so here we are with a smoother dough. You can see that's no longer lumpy. So I'm going to take the rest of this bag of flour and just dump it out. Y'all, this is a weird sensation working with this piece of dough still attached to my arm. Okay. All right. Gonna put her out this way. Woo, how fun. Okay. Here. And then we're gonna knead it. Oh, this is so much wetter than my last dough. See, when I made, so here's the thing, and I'll have to fill you guys in on this later. When I did the first batch, I used a bread flour, which I can't remember what makes it. God, this is just a mess. This might have to go into the trash. I'm just going to say it. Might have to be trash dough. But that's fine because I've got other dough that I believe is going to be okay. It's way better. Oh, man. I forgot to put the off. Yeah, you guys. Yeah. You don't really need your dough too much. But this is so much better than the last day that I made. But the recipe I'm using is apparently a copycat packaging on the recipe. Said all purpose flour. Granted, I did go to greasy flour, which is probably a little finer blend. But this is literally just making a huge mess. My last dough was so much stickier than this stuff. That's okay. It's totally fine. Hi, Edwin. We are making beignets. I'm so sorry I missed your comment. I was kind of focused on this really wet dough. I know, Tony. Oh no. Okay, we're starting to get there. But I think more of it's on my hands. I've got more dough on my body than is going to actually go in the bowl to rise. That's okay. That's okay. I am not one afraid of getting my hands dirty. My husband, on the other hand, does not like dirty hands. But, okay, so this is a mess. I'm going to rest it anyway just to see how it goes. But before I do that, I'm going to have to transfer. Oh gosh, such a mess. Such a mess. I was like, man, I made this 2 hours ago. It's going to be totally fine. Sometimes things don't turn out right. Literally changing the flour. That's all I changed was the flour, Mark. Oh, Martin, is my sound doing something weird? Oh, good night, nurse. That's just, it shouldn't look like that. Shouldn't look like that. Hi, Asteroid Silk. Because I know you're not supposed to work the dough that much. Ooh. As I continue to work it. If you overwork it, it'll come out tough. But okay. Well, that just, I think bread flour might be the way you should go. So, because the bowl that I need to use is already preoccupied and I'm really like messy. Okay, well, I'm gonna wash this off. I'm gonna figure out how to make all of this work. We're doing good. At least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. I'm gonna finally take the dough off of my arm. Ew. Or try to at least. That, you guys. Oh my. The good news about Lola's pinup closet merchandise is that it's all machine washable. And it's super comfy and cozy. So while it's unfortunate that I have made such a mess, it is not the end of the world. What am I baking? We're baking beignets. Any particular place you want to visit over here? Oh, ha, great. You guys converse. So the dough that worked out definitely doubled in size. And now the only problem is this is my rolling space. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dirty up every single dish that I own in my apartment. When you have a dough that is worth resting, you want to oil a bowl. And I've just poured a little in there. And I like to rub it around to coat it. Because that will make it slide out easier. And I'm actually just going to oil my hands. And I'm going to try to gather up what is left, what is salvageable of this dough. I'm just going to set her in there. And she's going to sit here. And I'm going to try, I got to do some cleanup first. But you put the dough into an oiled bowl and you let it rest for 2 hours. You can prep the dough up to 24 hours in advance. Because here's the thing about beignets. They are best served hot. They really, really are. Because when you get them at Café du Monde, they come out on a paper plate. Ugh. They come out on a paper plate. God, this is just making a mess. In fact, when they serve dough, the beignets at Café du Monde, I'm sure most people are just like, are there actually beignets on there? Because it's served under a veritable mountain of powdered sugar. It's crazy. Oh, messy. You're right, Martin. I am messy. Are you surprised? A lot of your favorite musical artists are from Germany. Oh, cool. Like who, Eric? I would love to know. Let's see if using a dry paper towel works better. Because there really isn't any other space in this kitchen to roll out dough. Okay, while I do this, I'm going to take this canola oil, and I've got a big pan. It says you should use a frying pan. Maybe I should. They want 3 to 4 inches. How many inches is that? I don't know. But I'm going to pour in some canola oil. I'm just going to do the whole bottle. And then some. That's definitely not 3 inches. Okay. Unless you have a deep fat fryer, you're going to need one of these. This is a candy thermometer. And it's going to set in the pot. That's definitely not. whatever. I'll just buy more canola oil later. That's how this is gonna go. Aha, that's how you do it. There we go. It sets in the dish so that you get an accurate temperature reading of your oil while it's heating. Melody does need to come and help me, Martin. Wouldn't that be great if I could have an assistant? There are worse things than being messy. You know. Totally worse things. Okay, we're getting somewhere on this space. I'm going to let that heat up. This washcloth is going to have to go in the laundry ASAP. Here I thought this would be a flawless, seamless, no mistakes show. Oh, how wrong I was. But hey, that's what makes life interesting, right? Isn't that right? Yes, yes, please tell me I'm not crazy. Okay. Whatever. I still have dough in places that I shouldn't, but hey. As the French say, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Okay. So yes, you need a deep fat fryer or a candy thermometer so that you can get an accurate reading on your oil, on the temperature of your oil. You want the oil to be 350 degrees hot. If it is not 350 degrees, it's not going to fry the donuts the way that you want them to. Unfortunately. But I do have a candy thermometer because one of my friends had one and was like, oh, I don't use this. Do you want it? Yes, I will take all of your things baking related that you don't use because I will use them. For sure. Okay, so this is in here. We're going to cover it with a towel and let it rest. And I'm just going to put it out of sight, out of mind. Okay. She's big. She started out that small, and now she's huge. I'm so excited. Okay, wonderful. All right, so, where are we? Okay. I probably should have been heating this dough, or sorry, the oil. Should have heated the oil while I was doing all of this. Tangerine Dream. Oh, lovely. This is, you guys are having such a great conversation. It makes me happy. Oh, Martin, we're not going to talk about him. I refuse to sully a good time with mention of that man. So, but that should be an indicator as to how it's going. Trying to think, do I want to do some music for you now? Or do I want to roll out? I mean, I've got a pretty good gas stove and the heat's steadily rising, but we're still not quite halfway to the temperature that we want to be at. Oh, have fun, Mark, and go to our Instagram page and check us out on IGTV later. Just a little hint. So we'll do, okay, I'll do one song now that I love, that I want to share with you. And if we have time for another song later, then we'll do it. But to kill some time while this oil heats, here is a lovely here's a lovely Caro Emerald number. From where you are, you see the smoke start to rise where they play cards, and you walk over softly, moving past the guards. The stakes are getting higher, you can feel it in your heart. He calls your bluff, he is the ace you never knew he played that much, and now all of this is nothing The cards to touch. That's a weird lyric. You never know if winning this could really be enough. Take a look beyond the moon, you see the stars. And when you look around the room, you know the room by heart. Have you never dreamed it? I have never dreamed a night like this. I cannot believe it. I have never seen a night like this. When everything is incomplete, just happening when you are sleeping. I have never dreamed it. Have you ever dreamed a night like this? How many times have I been waiting by the door to see the time, to hear that someone other man has just arrived and opened up to see my world inside that silhouette created in a dark night. I can't forget it has a sense of something special I can't rest. If I didn't just think I know for sure that I will lose the pain. I walk away, suddenly it seems I am not alone. In front of me he stands, I stop before he goes. Have you ever dreamed it? I have never dreamed a night like this. I cannot believe it. I may never see a night like this. When everything it seems is incomplete, stuff's happening when you are cheek to cheek. I have never dreamed it. Have you ever dreamed a night like this? Have you ever dreamed it? I have never dreamed a night like this. Oh, I cannot believe it. I can never see a night like this. When everything it seems is incomplete, stuff's happening when you are cheek to cheek. I may never dream it. Have you ever dreamed a night like this? Dreamed a night like this. Dreamed a night like this. Aha! There's one line in those lyrics that I had it, and I get to that line and I'm like, this makes it just does not make any sense to me. And so my brain just goes, oh well. Thank you guys. Thank you. Man, Christian and Eric are having the time of their lives on Instagram, and this is great. But yes, that is A Night Like This by Caro Emerald. And there's just one little lyric in there that I just can't get to stick in my brain. Okay, we are almost to the right oil temperature. I'm gonna set up some stuff. I honestly can't remember if you're supposed to. I'm gonna do a little flour on the surface just because I can't remember. I can't remember if you flour the surface at this time because the bowl is oiled, so it should, just fall out right like that. Look at that, so clean. Okay. And again, I'm gonna do just a tiny bit. So, yeah, you must. Yahoo. What is it that they say? Yeah, something. Anyway, It goes against like everything I know about bread to roll this out, but you roll it out. Okay. But I gotta say, she's really pretty, this dough. I'm not applying a whole lot of pressure. I'm just trying to get it down so that it's not as thick as it was. You want it to be roughly the same size all around. Then you take your pizza cutter, which, here, Facebook. There she is. And here, Javo, there it is. And there's the dough, Instagram. Okay, here we are. So, Javo. What does that mean, Steven? Is it like a huzzah? I'm assuming it is. Okay. And you need to cut it into squares. When was the last time I used? Oh yeah, when I was doing turnovers. Thinking I was trying to do turnovers. I used my pizza cutter and was like, it's a way to make everything even. No, it's not. You gotta have a steady hand. How are we on the oil? Oh! Okay, I'm gonna send you down this tab. Because we're like right at 360. Okay, so now they look like this. There we go. And now I'm going to take everybody over here to the other side of the phone. Yay! Here we are. Okay. There we go. And so from here, nuts. You're going to take your little squares and you're going to drop them in. And they get about 3 minutes. Oops. Yabo. Great. Usually means yes, use in the military. Okay. And from what I understand, you baste. So 3 minutes, and then you flip. I'm going to try one. I'm going to start with just one. Ooh, but it's puffing, and I'm so excited. Yay, guys, it's doing what I want it to. Ooh, and it's getting nice and brown on the edges because my oil is just about 380 degrees. I don't know if too hot oil means a big mistake, but we're going to find out. And yeah, you can just continue to baste, which is where you just pop things over. Okay, so maybe I didn't need all of this oil, but whatever. Oh, you know what? My oil is so hot. I may need to like flip her beforehand. I'm just going to flip it. Yeah. No, it's 45 seconds. That's what it is. It's 45 seconds. And then you flip and baste. And then you flip. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like 3 minutes total. Okay. So we're doing good so far. Excuse me. I'm going to go get a plate. I have never seen it. Have you ever seen a night like? It's such a catchy tune. I love it. And it's super fun with that little bring on the. Ooh. Oh, my Lanta, you guys. Wait for it. Wait for it. I'm going to call it early because, again, my oil is like super hot. Trying to bring it down. I've adjusted the heat. But look, we made a beignet. Oh, I've got a slotted spoon to take her out. Woo! I'm so excited. Okay, so now I'm going to do more than one at a time. One. Ow. So here's something that I've learned watching the Great British Baking Show. Sometimes if you overfill your frying pan, then
it can bring the temperature down, which is another reason why you're always going to want to keep this handy thermometer, and just so you guys can see where it is. It's going to come back this way. 3 minutes, but again, I think everything was just so hot. Okay, so what's happening is
the bits in the oil, the brown is starting to come up over, and you actually can kind of see this, Instagram, because you've got an adjustable tripod. Facebook, you're just kind of stuck looking at me. Sorry. Amazing. So I'll be honest, this kind of reminds me of fried Indian bread. That was an Oklahoma State Fair treasure. Fried Indian bread. Oh gosh, when you get like Indian tacos, it's just a taco on top of some incredible fried Indian bread. Okay, I can't get this one to flip. But, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm making beignets. Ah! Look at that dough, and it's still all right there.
So, hello, Marcela. Yes, Martin, you made it at the right time. Not in the military, just getting in before you started saying so many things. Oh, well, it's pretty good. Nevertheless, is it, so is that mandatory in Germany that everybody serves in the military? I mean, you guys, look at that. Incredible. The golden, the thick. So let's talk about oil. Paula Dean's recipe calls for peanut oil. I think peanut oil has too much of a flavor. I believe the copycat recipe, okay, I need to bump up my heat just a little to maintain it, to get back down.
Paula Dean's recipe, who I did not use, called for peanut oil. Like I said, peanut oil has a really distinct flavor. I believe Chick-fil-A uses like a peanut oil. It's doing that underwater thing? Okay. That is just, I don't know what that is. And I'm so sorry you have to deal with that, Facebook. It's frustrating, believe me. Okay, bump up the heat just a little. Because like I said, if your oil is not the right temperature, it doesn't fry as well as it should. It gets really uneven. Come back. I'm gonna bump it up. Which is interesting working on gas, because gas is just a continuous heat source. It's not like an electric range where it moderates, and that's the benefit of having a deep fryer, is that it regulates the temperature better and more consistently. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that little girl. But when it comes to, okay, so we're back right at 350. I'm gonna flip. Oh man, you guys, I'm so happy this batch worked. Scuba diving again, man. Good thing you are eating peaches. Hi, Martin, by the way. It goes in and out. That's so frustrating. I wonder if that's just like, that has to be just an internet connectivity issue, because Lord knows I couldn't change it if I tried. I like to tell people that my husband is a tech wizard, and I'm not lying. I was trying to watch episode 2 of The Great the other day, and I went and I turned it on, and I got this little, like this pop, glitchy pop noise, and then the screen went black, and the top of it was, stay. Like the very top of the screen had that like scratchy color strip, but then the rest of it was blank. So I get out of the show, I go to other things, I go look at some movies, some other TV shows, just to make sure that it's, not a whole issue with Hulu. And sure enough, everything else works. But then, I I go back to try and watch The Great. I go back to that episode and it does the exact same thing. Yes, it is probably a bandwidth issue. So I go back to the episode and I try to play it again and it does the same thing. And I get frustrated and my husband hears that and he's like, "What you doing?" He's like, "I'm literally doing nothing. I'm pressing play." And I play episodes 3, episodes 4. They're totally fine. I go back to episode 2. Horrible. I hand my husband the remote. He turns on episode 2 and it works. Y'all, I can't. He's a wizard. And it's great. It's great that I have him in my corner, but it's really frustrating. Anyway, okay. This is so great. So here's a question. Now that we've seen a few of these baked, do you guys want one more song? Kind of a sadder song, I'm going to be honest. If you say no, I won't be offended because it is a sadder song and I don't want to end us on a sour note, but it is the one song that I just look at these. And of course, once you're done and you serve them, you have to just cover them in mountains and mountains of powdered sugar. Because literally the Café du Monde is just a paper plate of powdered sugar. Every man aged 18 was required to serve in the village of a certain time and so for more reasons. Oh, interesting. Sing. Martin says sing. The song is She Used to Be Mine from Waitress. It's a real pretty song. I love it. Their workforce between men and women. Huh. Well, you know, hey. That's sometimes how it goes. I really do want to play another song for you, but my voice is starting to feel a little rough, and that song is not the easiest to sing. My voice is feeling rough because, hey, I've been talking to you fine folks for a whole hour. But these, oh man, ooh, I got some extra flour in there. Yeah, Satin Dolls, I agree. I think we should save that song for next week. Trying to think if I can remember the chords off the top of my head to La Vie en Rose. I know I've sung it for you guys before. Oh, nope, premature turn. Whoops. An easier song. Yeah, I agree. Let me see if I can find my La Vie en Rose chords. On Rose, ukulele chords. Ooh. All right. We'll let these little puppies, come on you. There you go. We'll let these puppies brown up a little bit. Since we're making a French dessert. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to take these babies out. Oh my gosh, my oil is so hot. No wonder these are getting so brown. And we're going to end in the last few minutes that we have left. We're going to end with a little Edith Piaf. Alle meinen Entchen? I don't know that one. But I do know this one. Stop with the auto scroll. Man, some of these things are really helpful until they're like definitely not. Okay. Hold me close and hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When to your arms. Wait. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see la vie en rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be lovey. These are different chords from what I learned. Hold me close and hold me fast, the magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be La Vie en Rose. Remembered! I feel like I've learned so many songs on the ukulele. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I've learned so many songs that they're all kind of jumbling together at this point. Thank you. C'est magnifique. That's a song I should learn. C'est magnifique. Okay, I've got 3 more little beignets left to make. I'm going to pop these in. My oil is 50 degrees hotter than it should be, so I'm sure they'll take no time whatsoever. I'm going to let you know how that other weird dough turns out later. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I had an absolute blast, mess and all. So sorry that I'm like terribly overlit Facebook. But yeah, beignets, bread flour. I think that's the trick. I think bread flour is the trick. I'm going to eat one. Oh my gosh. Man. Yeah, the powdered sugar definitely adds like that extra zhuzh to it. But you can totally just eat them as they are. Okay. So. Weird dough or weirdo? Okay, so Martin, I prepped dough beforehand because it has to rest for 2 hours, and the dough that I made on live it was a wetter, stickier dough than this dough that we actually got fried up. And so I don't know how it's going to turn out. Loved. Thank you, Tony. I'm so glad you've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed doing them. You know, sometimes I get to Thursdays and I'm like, oh no, I'm not prepared, but it's always been fun. I've got 20 seconds left on Instagram. One more time, I'm going to plug Lola's Pinup Closet. Go to thesatindolls.com, click on shop, and Facebook just ended or Instagram ended for me. Thesatindolls.com, shop. The top few images should be our limited edition Vote t-shirts. You can pre-order those now and make your plans to vote this November. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.